Hello, this is me, Tim, from Tim and Jordan on Wrestling, back again with another Raw review, this time for the 19th of September 2016. Let's get into this episode. So, the episode starts off with a replay from last week, counting the main events of Kevin Owens and how he got basically screwed his way to winning the match last week. And yeah, Seth Rollins interfered, Rusev interfered. Yes, it was a bit of madness last week. Mick Foley arrives, interrupting Stephanie, who interrupts Reigns to say that he didn't want interferences, and so there will be rematches for both Reigns, and yes, he will get his rematch. He also grants Reigns a US title match at the Clash, which means he will be fighting against Rusev for a chance at the title. Foley says the reason he is still here is because of Stephanie, and without him, he will be gone. If Raw doesn't stay strong, he sucks up to Reigns, giving him a rematch. He also thinks that he needs to fight against SmackDown. I like a bit of fighting talk, but this was just a bit cringy, to be honest. And again, Stephanie McMahon, good, but yeah, I can tell Mick Foley kind of floundering here in the mic a bit. He's not that interesting, to be honest. Yeah, I get what people are saying about Mick Foley. Suddenly realizing, he's not that great a guy, I guess, in the GM role. He's kind of growing on me a bit, but I mean, to be honest, what has he really been doing? He's just sort of been sucking up to Steph, if you really think about it. And even at that, I think he just he's never really done anything, he's been a complete face. He's been acting like a face, but he's just been kind of there, really, to be honest. He's just kind of blended into the background. And honestly, it's like, every time he makes a match, you're just like, this is just completely staged. So I don't know, I'm kind of a bit mixed about him at the moment, and I just don't know I don't know. I think he needs to be, improved a bit or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what's going on for him, but maybe a bit more competition with SmackDown would definitely fit the bill. Let's see here. Owens is pissed as he comes out and saying that having fruitfully beaten Reigns twice. But Foley announces that the main event will be a steel cage, regardless, between Reigns and Owens, because everyone hates Owens for some reason. Even this situation. And the first match is Rollins versus Rusev. Rollins gets in a high-flying DDT, but outside he's chucked around like a sack of potatoes before being thrown into the ring post. Rusev targets the lower back of Rusev. Rusev targets the lower back of Rollins, and in a bit of ring psychology, Rollins kicks. Where am I right now? Oh my god, I've completely lost my trail of thought here, and also my page here. And Tara and Enziguri, followed by swing blade, kick, and suplex. Beautiful, load of moves there. Big kick and knee by Rusev for a close fall. A giant flying knee in the ropes, and Rollins followed by two suicide dives at the side of the ring, which were highlights of the night. Both fight up on the stage to be counted out. And then at the end, we see Rusev hit a giant dive off the announce. Rollins hit a giant dive on the announce table, and just great moment. Backstage, Dana and Charlotte argue over what happened last week, but process to be shoved into a triple threat at the Clash of Champions, which means Charlotte will be taking on Sasha Banks versus Bayley. That's what you get for giving out, Charlotte. It's your fault. Second match of the night, it's Braun Strowman versus Sin Cara. Strowman starts off literally tipping Cara backwards and just chucking him over to the ground. Cara dives on an unaffected Strowman before catching Cara with a big ending. This match even shorter than last match. I don't know what the Cara's thinking. He's becoming the most bona fide jobber on the card again. I think it's like the third time. He's probably fight him against him again, to be honest, next week. You never know. Big deal. Third match tonight, it's Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Charlotte and Dana Brooke. Charlotte and Brooke work well as a team, kicking on Bayley. Bayley and Banks hit a double suplex on Charlotte, but she runs back into control, throwing Banks on the turnbuckle on her back. Brooke is momentarily to attack the back of Banks. Charlotte pulls Banks on the ring post, wrenching the back. Bayley gets hot tagged in and hits a flying elbow. Dana Brooke interrupts. Charlotte hits a big boot on Bayley and wins the match. This is obviously cheap heat, quite a clever way to finish off the match. Leaves us wanting more. Again, Dana Brooke, kind of the master of this heel lead. She's really working a storm with Charlotte, who Sometimes she needs a bit of that because sometimes she can just get a bit bland. So it's always good to have that extra spice in the middle. Again, the whole idea of a Clash of Champions having the triple threat is going to be an interesting dynamic. I don't know how obviously Brooke is definitely going to factor into this, no doubt. Looking at this match here and the way that she won, I can tell that this is probably Charlotte's giving away path. So I don't know. It feels like the right time because of course it's the first ever Raw pay-per-views. They want to have some big moment in the women's division, and to trump what happened last time with Becky Lynch at the last pay-per-view, I think it will be kind of suitable, kind of significantly right to have the title change hands. So I'm kind of already changing my mind, and of course this is the Go Home show, so making my prediction, I will be saying that Bayley will win the title. Yeah, I'm happy about saying that. I'm pretty confident too, because damn, she had a lot of shall I say, momentum in this match. John Cena momentum, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Anyways, where am I at the moment? Rollins is backstage with Stephanie, angry, and still angry at Stephanie, asking why he lost the title, and why this all went down. He says that maybe he will oppose them, and ask Stephanie why are you not doing anything about this. Obviously Stephanie, who's sucking up at everyone today apparently, along with Mick Foley, says the future will not be yours. I'm sorry. Stephanie says that she wants KO as champ. Before, Rollins says he's disappointed at her and thinks that she has changed ever since Shane came back, which is an ultra burn, guys. Wow. Bo Dallas defeats a local jobber with a twist of faith. Moving on, it's our match 6 of the Cesaro vs Sheamus feud. Again, the most predictable 7 series I've done in a while. Sheamus asserts dominance, chucking Cesaro out of the ring early on. Cesaro hits a running uppercut outside the barricade, followed by a strong springboard uppercut. Sheamus hots a white noise on Cesaro before Cesaro reverses a bro kick before Cesaro kicks out of white noise, a Celtic cross. All of these moves, cloverleaf, it's all predictable. You know he's going to win the match. Sheamus gets caught down a dirty pin versus a bro kick, hitting a neutralizer for Cesaro to win the match. This means it's obviously going to 7 series. At the pay-per-view, I completely changed my mind. Obviously, through the last couple of weeks, I've been kind of thinking one thing, and then I've decided to change my mind again. I'm going to go with Cesaro winning this. The injuries seem to be good at the moment, so I think he's definitely powered forward through that. I mean, he looks very, very fluid in the ring. No matter how much they say, oh, he's injured, he's still Cesaro in the ring. So, touch wood, he will be winning at the Clash of Champions. Now, I think Cesaro is in a pretty good position now, as it is, and obviously, title shot. So, I don't know if he's getting that title shot soon. But again, nice to have him maybe star triple threat 1-on-1 at the next pay-per-view. Again, I will talk about who I think you'll be facing later on when we get to the main event. Next up, we have Jericho out in the ring complaining about Mick Foley, making the list of Jericho to air his grievances. He's kind of talking about how Mick Foley, you use all these cliches and how you're bad fashion sense and etc. All these kind of Jericho-isms where he just has to put it all out there. Anyways, Enzo and Cass interrupt. Amore saying that Jericho and KO are not friends. Again, it's a weird relationship between the two. I would not really classify the two as friends. Anyway, the Shining Stars also arrive, being annoying as hell. The New Day arrive, and they're the New Day, so good on them. The Club arrive, God, the Club. And Sami Zayn arrives for some reason to take down Jericho in a big brawl. And a gigantic brawl occurs in the ring. And suddenly, after the ad break, we get back into a 10-person tag team match, miraculously. It's not like Mick Foley, purposely had them all come out so he could do never mind. It's the match, guys. Yay! With 5 perfect heels on each team. And faces, sorry. Big Cass takes over with a Stinger Splash halfway through the match and an Empire Elbow on Primo. I sometimes mix them up. Everybody is flung out of the ring. Kofi flies into the wrestlers. Helluva kick by Zayn. And a boom shakalaka to win. That is the match. And it was decent, I guess. Of course, we're going to have New Day versus The Club at the upcoming Clash of Champions this Sunday. My prediction for that match, we are going to see, in my opinion, just going off what I think, just going off frequent weeks, breaking bang, 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 I think, in my opinion, now I'm going to be controversial here. I'm going to say the New Day will win this match. Now, I mean, other people will say, why not? Why you think that? Well, I've won two solid reasons. First of all, this is to do with just their kind of lackluster few weeks in the past. I think that they need to sort of rebound from that, and of course, they're still a team. The commentators have been countlessly talking about how many Daves they've been going at, so I think it's kind of a storyline where they're kind of just outlasting themselves now and again. And don't forget, they're definitely the most popular tag team in the last 5 years. I'd say, like modern tag team. I'm not talking about tag teams that started before 5 years ago. I mean, like the modern, you know what I mean. Anyways, I think they're just such a good tag team in that basis. I think they'll last very long. Secondly, they have a deal with Budios, and that kind of thing is still going at the moment, just kind of ending now. But they still need their marketing out there. So I think from a very business perspective, and I know I'm just cheating here, but from a business perspective, they are good as the champions. I mean, for God's sake, they have a little serial thing called the Tag Team Champions. So I think this isn't the pay-per-view where they're going to drop it, but they may drop it at a future one. Probably, most likely, the one where Raw and SmackDown work together next, which I think is Survivor Series. So, I mean, that sounds like a long time to hold it for them. But you think about it, it's only a month or two down the road. So, yeah, I think they'll hold on for now, but they're coming up on their days. So their days are numbered, literally. A 7 match of the night. It's Grand Metalik versus the Brian Kendrick versus Rich Swann versus Cedric Alexander for number one contender for the Cruiserweight Championship. Obviously, the Cruiserweight Classic was on last week, the finals, and we saw TJ Perkins win the entire thing. Now, I think it's a really good idea to have this Cruiserweight division here in the first place because, again, Raw is kind of struggling when it comes to the kind of mid-division, and it would be a nice little push in the rear to kickstart it with some more cool wrestlers. Obviously, they have the time to fill on the show, and they usually just have countless jobber matches, which this is a nice break from. Again, hopefully you can step away from, obviously, countless Braun Strowman and Nia Jax matches over and over again, which just kind of bore your brain after a while. Replace that with 10 minutes of this, and I'll be happy. Anyways, this first match here of the night, very good match, actually, to be honest. Very exciting, very thrilling. A lot of jelly by Alexander during the match after recovering from the head scissors. You know, he actually jumped up on his feet at one point. It was really cool. Alexander dives on Brian Kendrick before landing on his feet, which is amazing. Cedric Alexander, for one, really stood out in this match. But I could tell Brian Kendrick was kind of a fan favourite here. Kendrick and Swann brawl on the outside and attacking Swann on the outside. Swann hits knees on Metalik dive before bridging jackknife to a close fall. Brian Kendrick hits a DDT on Metalik for a close fall. Kendrick with a captain's hook on Alexander for close interruption before kneeing in the face and getting a win on Cedric Alexander with another fisherman's hook, and he wins the match. This was a really great opportunity because, of course, this means that the Brian Kendrick, who's kind of been built up for years after he got fired, went back to WWE. He wanted to, you know, he's old. He's old in age comparatively, with 38 years of age. So he needs to do it now or never. That's the sort of thing. And he's going to go and fight against TJ Perkins at Clash of Champions for that Cruiserweight Championship in the first ever defense of the title. Now, I really enjoyed this match for two reasons mainly. Firstly, it was just a really high-paced, fast match. It didn't go on too long, but it didn't go too short. Secondly, stories were told in this match. We actually learned things about the wrestlers, definitely the video packages that were shown beforehand. And also, it was just a really, really nice time to watch. I mean, I learned so much. Brian Kendrick, for one, he was an old veteran fighting for his last chance. We saw, you know, sorry, I'm getting all the names mixed up here. Rich Swann, who was sort of just this big brawler, but he was also, you know, his parents died and he was kind of fighting for them, really. And also, we saw Cedric Alexander, who I think was the runner-up. Grand Metalik was the runner-up. He was a great wrestler, but Cedric Alexander, again, he was just very charismatic in this match, and he kind of took over at points. So again, it really did show a lot of characters through this whole thing, and a very dynamic bunch of them. So I'm really intrigued by all these different characters, even more than just the wrestling. I think it's just a really nice mix. So I think it's gonna be a nice, really nice thing that goes on each week. Hopefully, it's not like structured in one place and kind of dynamically moves about the card. What I mean by that is, you know, where they interact with other wrestlers and stuff like that. I don't want to be like sanctioned cruiser division where they can only compete in that one area. I think it'd be cool to see, you know, cruiserweights compete in normal matches. So I mean, hopefully that happens. But I think for now they're just experimenting with it, so I don't know if they'll go that far. But for now, I think it's just good where it is. But it'd be cool to see it, develop from here, and just move out and be like a serious thing on WWE, which I hope it will become. Anyways, so that was really awesome, to be honest. That was like the moment of the night, to be honest. Our main event, which is built up very early on in the match, a steel cage match. We don't see these too often, so it was a nice little breath of fresh air. And here's the main event. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. The match starts off. Owen looks to escape early on, trying to open the door, but Reigns stops him at every turn. A German suplex and cannonball by Owens later on, before Roman Reigns attempts the Superman punch reversal on the pop-up powerbomb. Kevin Owens trying to jump over the top and is defenseless. Reigns jumps over the cage before KO can climb and off the cage to win. Rusev ambushes Reigns while KO helps Rusev. Rusev has a lock and chain on the door, leaving Reigns defenseless, and then Rollins helps Reigns out and jumps over. So, Reigns won the match, but after the match we see him being pushed in, bullied by Rusev. Then Rusev and KO teamed up on Reigns in the match, in the ring, which is locked up. Then Rollins jumps in, says, "No, hell no, I'm not having any of this," and dives down on KO and Rusev. And that's how it all ends on Raw. So that was the show, guys. That was it all summed up in a pretty short amount of time. To be honest, the main event, I'll just go through the main event really quickly. I think this means, obviously, Reigns winning the United States Championship is kind of a no-brainer, since it's kind of been building up since SummerSlam, and you don't have Rusev win twice against a superstar like Reigns. No way, Jose. Secondly, I think that for going forward, we know that, KO is kind of bit vulnerable when it comes to Reigns. He's really in a vulnerable position there, so it's scary to see how that's going to go down at the pay-per-view, obviously, when KO competes against... Who is he competing against the Clash of Champions? I've completely forgotten. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so we see it's basically KO versus Seth Rollins again. For this one, I think going forward you need KO to get the victory. I mean, he's been looking very weak, I guess, lately. He's kind of been protected by Triple H. He hasn't really got a clean victory lately, and it also would mean big for him if maybe Stephanie helped out, and that's a good possibility, and that maybe, I don't know, and through interference he always has to help us Jericho, and Seth Rollins on the other hand is quite vulnerable at the moment. So again, that's where I'm going at with that decision, and I think KO needs to defend that for a good amount of time for that to solidify his reign. And of course, they're going the full way because very hyped up guy. So I mean, hopefully it pays off. I mean, he's a great wrestler. So yeah. Next match to predict is Alicia Fox versus Nia Jax. I predict that in this match, I think Nia Jax will win because, again, she's already won once, but I think that won't stop her from winning again. She's just really powerful wrestler, and I think they want to showcase that maybe at the pay-per-view, just, to kind of give the fans a real taste of her, maybe in a longer contest, maybe she might try to DQ or something like that. I don't know, she has that in her, but maybe she might try it again in DQ, but I don't think that'll happen. It could happen, but I don't know. I still feel like Nia Jax will win this match, hands down. Third match tonight, New Day versus the Club. I think I said that the New Day win. Yes, I did. Then in Charlotte versus Sasha Banks versus Bayley, I think Bayley will win, because again, Bayley, she's running with it. She's definitely had a lot of momentum so far, and she is really been pretty great so far. So I think this is good for her. Again, it'll put her up with a nice little feud between Charlotte and Sasha Banks afterwards, and again it would mean that there'll be multiple rematches for this match, so it's a good idea to make it a triple threat. I know I said before not, but again it does put a lot of opportunity for unexpected title changes, like you don't know which way to go. With Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, I thought that maybe Charlotte would defend. This time though, I still think I think Bayley has it in her to win it, and it'll be really cool. Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. We have, I'd say Sami Zayn wins. I think Chris Jericho won last time in the pay-per-view, so Sami Zayn needs it. And also, Sami Zayn attacked Jericho before on the show. He's pretty much been getting into Jericho's mind, maybe playing some games with him. And Jericho really hasn't had much time to prepare for this, to be honest. And maybe he's already preoccupied with Seth Rollins, so maybe he's going to be a bit lazy in this match. Rusev versus Roman Reigns, and you can remember that obviously Roman Reigns will win this match, hands down. And again, it will extend the feud outwards, obviously, but it will mean that Roman Reigns is positioned at a higher point. Obviously, the United States Championship has come in suffering lately, so I think they might want to re-energize it with this win. Cesaro versus Sheamus, I think we all know Cesaro will win that match. Pretty obvious, and that will come to terms with when we will give him his title shot. So I think a possibility for that would be Cesaro taking on the winner of KO and the winner of KO and Rollins at a later date, maybe just on Raw one time for title shot, and possibly he loses, but still it would definitely solidify him, and it would be a great way to it would be a great match firstly, but it'd also be a really fun time. So yeah, I think he would go on to do great things, but maybe he won't reach the title, but he'll still be up there. TJ Perkins versus Brian Kendrick, I should say. And I think in this matchup, to be honest, I think TJ Perkins will win. Obviously, the Brian Kendrick is older now. He's more matured. He's, I guess, more hindsight in sight. But it doesn't really stop him when it comes to TJ Perkins. I'm kind of guessing he's very big up because I think I've seen a lot of packages for him, and he's definitely a very good wrestler. So, I mean, in fairness, great wrestling does beat out him on maturity and experience. So, I mean, in the end, I still think that TJ Perkins will get it done. And there you go. So that's all 8 matches currently announced for Clash of Champions. I don't know if there'll be one more, but I think that's about it. Yeah, so that's going to be an exciting time. Obviously, September 25th, 2016 in Indianapolis, Indiana, on Sunday night, Clash of Champions. I'll be able to do my review, obviously, next week, and that will be a fun time to do. So, thank you guys for watching, and subscribe, like, share. Bye.